Have you ever felt that deep, unshakable knowing inside you that you were never meant to blend into the crowd? Have you sensed that your very presence stirs something in others, even when you say nothing at all? This is not imagination, and it is not coincidence. You are here right now because the message I'm about to share was sent for you at this very moment by divine timing. God has been preparing you quietly, away from the noise, shaping your heart and sharpening your spirit. And now, He is calling you to rise. Chosen one, your life has never been ordinary because you were never meant for ordinary things. The battles you've faced, the loneliness you've endured, the truths you've seen before others could see them, these were all part of the training. You are being positioned to lead others out of the darkness, to guide them into light and truth when confusion surrounds them. If your spirit feels this truth right now, comment 777 below so I know you've received it. Make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, and share this message with someone who needs it. This is not just another video. This is the turning point. Also, chosen one. You were never meant to face these battles unprepared. I've created a powerful guide to help you recognize your true identity, stand against the enemy's tactics, and walk boldly in your divine purpose. Inside, you'll find practical spiritual strategies, timeless truths, and the tools you need to protect your spirit. The link is in the description. Get your book now and step into the victory you were born for. Signs you have been chosen to lead. If you are watching this, there's a reason. The chosen ones do not stumble upon messages like this by accident. God aligns moments, words, and encounters with perfect precision. And the truth is, many of you have known for a long time that there is something different about you. You may not have had the words for it before, but you've felt it deep in your spirit. Today, I'm going to put words to that feeling. By the time we're done, you will know without doubt whether you are one of the ones called to lead others out of the darkness. The first sign is that your life has never fit neatly into the mold that society tried to place you in. From a young age, you may have noticed that you couldn't ignore the truth, even when it was uncomfortable. While others seemed content to go along with the crowd, you felt this pull inside of you to question, to seek, to understand what lies beneath the surface. This is the mark of a leader in the making, a refusal to accept illusions just because they're popular. God gives His chosen ones a vision that sees beyond the surface of life. Another sign is that you've been set apart, often in ways that felt painful. You might have experienced seasons of isolation, not because you wanted to be alone, but because the people around you could not walk the path you were meant to walk. Friends may have drifted away, relationships may have ended abruptly, and you've wondered why God kept allowing these separations. It is because He is removing the voices that would drown out His own. The chosen must often walk alone before they can lead a crowd. You have also faced battles that seemed unfair. While others around you appear to live without great struggle, you have fought battles, spiritual, emotional, and even physical, that tested every part of your being. These were not punishments. They were forging moments. God uses pressure to create strength. Leaders cannot guide others through storms if they have never survived one themselves. The fact that you're still standing after everything you've been through is proof of your calling. Your discernment is another undeniable sign. You can sense when something is off, even if no one else notices it. You can walk into a room and feel the atmosphere shift. Sometimes you can tell when someone is being dishonest without a single word being spoken. This sensitivity is not a burden, it is a gift from God. He equips His chosen leaders with spiritual senses that allow them to navigate situations that others would walk into blindly. You may also notice that people are naturally drawn to you for guidance, even when you don't feel ready to lead. Strangers may open up to you, friends may seek your counsel, and even those who seem to dislike you may still respect your opinion. This is because your spirit carries authority. You don't have to demand leadership. It flows from you because God placed it there. Another clear sign is your inability to tolerate injustice. You cannot stand by while lies, corruption, or cruelty go unchecked. It disturbs you on a soul level, and you feel compelled to speak out or take action. Leaders of light are wired to confront the shadows. And this desire to correct wrongs is evidence that God has placed a warrior spirit inside you. You may have also noticed that you have survived things that should have destroyed you. You have faced attacks that were designed to break you, yet somehow you emerged wiser, stronger, and more determined. This is no accident. Every time the enemy tried to silence you, God preserved you because your mission was not yet complete. You have been under protection, even when you didn't realize it. Another trait of the chosen is the inner voice that refuses to let you quit. You may have moments of exhaustion, frustration, or even despair, but deep down you know you cannot give up. Something inside you, stronger than fear, stronger than pain, pushes you forward. This persistence is not just personality, it is divine endurance. You also carry a vision that others cannot see yet. Leaders are given the ability to see the destination before anyone else. You may have dreams, goals, or convictions that seem impossible to others, but to you, they feel inevitable. God plants these visions in the hearts of His chosen because they are the blueprint for what you are meant to build. Another sign is your connection to truth. While others may compromise for comfort, you feel physically uneasy when you go against what you know to be right. Your integrity is a non-negotiable part of who you are. This unwavering alignment with truth is essential for a leader who will guide others out of darkness. You may also notice that your life has been filled with divine appointments. People, opportunities, and messages have appeared at exactly the right time, often without explanation. This is God's way of shaping your journey, placing stepping stones exactly where they need to be. When you look back, you will realize that the path has been guided all along. Another sign is the fire in your spirit that refuses to be extinguished. Even when life knocks you down, you get back up. Even when the odds are against you, you still fight. This resilience is not just human willpower. It is the Spirit of God within you, keeping you on course for the mission ahead. Lastly, you carry an unshakable sense that your life has a greater purpose. You may not have the full picture yet, but you know deep in your soul that you were created for something more. This sense of destiny is what sets you apart from those who simply exist day to day. It is a whisper from God that becomes louder as you draw closer to Him. Chosen one. If these signs speak to you, it is because they are confirmation. You are not just different, you are appointed. You have been set apart, refined through trials, and entrusted with vision. The world needs your light now more than ever. The darkness is thick, but it cannot overcome a soul that carries divine fire. And I will tell you this, when you step fully into your calling, you will not just walk your own path. You will light the path for many others who are searching for the way. This is why the pressure has been so great. This is why your battles have been so intense. It is because you are meant to carry the torch, and when you do, others will follow it out of the shadows. You are here for a reason. You are listening to this for a reason. And if your spirit knows these words are true, let them take root in you. This is your confirmation. This is your time, the darkness you are called to confront. Chosen one, before you can lead others into the light, you must first understand the darkness you are called to confront. This is not just the absence of sunlight. This is not simply sadness or difficult times. The darkness I speak of is deeper. It is a spiritual condition, a veil over the eyes and hearts of humanity. It blinds people to truth, corrupts their thinking, distorts their values, and keeps them chained to lies without even realizing they are enslaved. You have been chosen because you have eyes to see what others cannot. This darkness is subtle. It doesn't always appear as obvious evil. Sometimes it wears the disguise of comfort, distraction, and false peace. It is in the systems that reward dishonesty, in the entertainment that numbs the soul, in the voices that twist truth to fit agendas. It is in the whisper that tells a person they are powerless, worthless, or beyond redemption. Darkness thrives when people stop questioning, when they stop seeking, and when they settle for what they are told instead of discovering truth for themselves. You, chosen one, have been equipped to see beyond that. You can sense when something is not right, even if the world says it's normal. You feel the heaviness in the atmosphere when deceit or corruption is present. Your spirit reacts to it because you are not meant to blend into it. You are meant to confront it. And this confrontation is not about physical fights or shouting matches. The real battleground is the mind and the spirit. Darkness gains power when it can shape how people think, what they believe, and how they see themselves. The people you will lead are not all trapped in visible chains. Many are bound by invisible ones: fear, confusion, bitterness, hopelessness. They may be walking around smiling on the outside, while inside they are lost. This is why your mission is urgent. You have been given light not to keep it hidden, but to shine it where shadows have taken hold. Your very presence, when aligned with God, can shift an atmosphere. Your words, when guided by truth, can break mental chains that years of lies have built. The darkness also works through division. It feeds off of separation, turning people against each other, sowing distrust, and creating constant conflict. It thrives in an environment where no one listens, where pride and ego take the place of humility and understanding. This is why chosen leaders must carry both truth and compassion. You are not just here to expose lies, but to heal hearts that have been wounded by them. A leader who only points out the problem without showing the way forward will leave people stranded. But you are being called to guide them all the way through. Understand this: confronting darkness will make it push back. It will try to silence you, distract you, or make you doubt yourself. It will place obstacles in your way, stir up opposition, and sometimes use people close to you to discourage you. This is why your training has been so intense, so that when the shadows try to close in, you will stand unshaken. Every hardship you've endured has strengthened your spiritual armor. Every loss you've survived has taught you to depend more on God than on circumstances. The darkness you are called to face is not just out there in the world, it also tries to creep into the hearts of those who carry the light. Pride, fear, resentment, these are shadows that must be confronted within yourself as well. A leader's light must be pure, not because they are perfect, but because they are humble enough to let God continually cleanse and guide them. This inner battle is ongoing, but it is what keeps your light strong and steady. You must also recognize that darkness doesn't always flee at the first sign of light. Sometimes it clings to people because it has become familiar to them. They may resist you at first. They may even reject the truth you bring because it disrupts the false comfort they've built. This is why patience is crucial. You are not just delivering information, you are helping souls transition from one reality to another. And that requires steady, consistent light, even when progress is slow. When you face this darkness, you must remember that your power does not come from yourself. It comes from the one who called you. On your own, you might be overwhelmed, but with divine backing, you become a force that darkness cannot withstand. Every time you speak truth in love, every time you refuse to compromise your values, every time you pray over someone who is struggling, you are pushing back the shadows. The enemy of light thrives in silence. If no one speaks, lies grow stronger. If no one acts, oppression deepens. But when a chosen one stands in truth, even quietly, the atmosphere shifts. You don't have to be the loudest voice to be the strongest one. You just have to be unshakable in your commitment to truth. You will notice that the closer you step into your calling, the more you will see the patterns of this darkness. It will no longer surprise you. You will start recognizing it in the way people think, in the way the world operates, and even in the habits and attitudes that hold people back. And when you recognize it, you will know exactly how to counter it, because God will guide your words, your timing, and your actions. Chosen one, you are not called to destroy people. You are called to destroy the lies that have bound them. Your mission is not to condemn, but to awaken. When someone stumbles in the dark, they don't need judgment. They need light. This is the posture of a true leader of light, to see the broken, the lost, and the misguided, and instead of turning away, to step toward them and guide them forward. The darkness in our world today is desperate to keep control, but it is no match for a generation of chosen ones who understand their authority. That's why the resistance has been so strong against you. That's why you've been attacked, doubted, and underestimated. Because once you fully step into your role, the enemy knows its grip on the people around you will begin to break. So prepare yourself, not with fear, but with confidence, not with arrogance, but with assurance. You have been anointed for this very task. Every trial has been a lesson, every delay has been preparation, and every tear has been watering the ground for the harvest you are about to see. When you walk into a room, you are not just a person, you are a carrier of light. When you speak, you are not just using words, you are releasing truth. When you live with integrity, you are not just making good choices, you are showing others what it means to live free from the grip of darkness. The darkness you are called to confront will not disappear overnight, but it will weaken every time you shine. You will not see every victory immediately, but seeds will be planted that will grow long after you've spoken. Trust the process. Trust the calling. And above all, trust the one who chose you. You are the answer to someone's silent prayer. You are the light they have been searching for. And now the time has come for you to step forward and guide them home. God's assignment for the chosen ones. Chosen one, you are not here by chance. You are not living in this moment of history by coincidence. You were sent here with an assignment, a divine mandate that existed long before you took your first breath. God, in His wisdom, saw the times we would be living in. He saw the confusion, the division, the decay of truth, and He placed in you a light that could not be extinguished. That light is your calling, and it is not for decoration. It is meant to guide, to heal, and to lead others out of the darkness. The assignment God has given you is both simple and profound. To be a carrier of His truth in a world that has traded truth for convenience, to be a messenger of hope in a time when hopelessness has become the norm, and to stand unshaken in faith when fear is being used as a weapon. Your presence in this world is part of a larger strategy, a divine plan that is unfolding right now. Whether you realize it or not, you have been in preparation for this moment all your life. Every trial, every loss, every strange twist in your journey has been shaping you into the kind of leader this assignment requires. At its core, your mission is about transformation. You are not called just to inspire people for a moment, but to lead them toward lasting change. Change in the way they think, the way they see themselves, and the way they live. This is why God has trained you in endurance. Leading people out of darkness is not a quick job. It requires patience, persistence, and the ability to keep going even when progress seems invisible. You will be guiding souls who have been in the shadows for so long that light feels uncomfortable to them at first. God's assignment for you has layers. On the surface, it may look like conversations, acts of kindness, teaching, writing, or simply living in a way that reflects your values. But beneath the surface, every action you take is doing spiritual work. When you speak truth to someone who is trapped in lies, you are planting seeds that may one day grow into a forest of freedom in their life. When you show love to someone who's only known rejection, you are breaking chains they didn't even know they had. You are also called to be a watchman, a guardian who can see danger before others do. God gives his chosen ones spiritual sight, and with that sight comes responsibility. When you sense that something is wrong, when you discern that a path leads to destruction, you are not meant to stay silent. Your assignment includes warning others even when they don't want to hear it. This is not about controlling people. It is about giving them the choice to step away from harm. Some will listen immediately. Others will resist. But your responsibility is to speak the truth God has placed in you, without watering it down to make it more comfortable. Another part of your assignment is to live as a beacon, a constant reminder that there is another way to live besides fear, compromise, and spiritual blindness. People are watching you, even those who never speak to you. They notice how you react under pressure, how you treat others when no one is praising you, and whether you stand by your convictions when it costs you something. Your life is a message. Sometimes it will be the only sermon someone ever hears. Understand this. Leadership in God's kingdom is not about titles or applause. It is about service. Jesus himself said that the greatest among us is the servant of all. This means you must be willing to put the needs of others before your own comfort. You may be called to give when it feels inconvenient, to listen when you are tired, to show compassion when others would turn away. These small acts are not small in God's eyes. They are building blocks of the kingdom you are helping to establish. God's assignment for you will also require courage. There will be moments when the truth you carry will not be popular. There will be times when standing for righteousness means standing alone. But you were chosen for this very reason, because God knew you would not bow to the pressure of the crowd. Your courage will inspire others to be brave as well, and before long, those who were silent will begin to speak. This is how movements of light are born. One voice stands, then another, and soon an entire army of truth carriers rises. The assignment is also deeply personal. God has placed people in your life who specifically need your light. You are not meant to reach everyone, but you are meant to reach certain ones. Some of them you already know. Others you will meet unexpectedly, in moments that seem random but are actually divine appointments. This is why you must stay spiritually alert, because your influence can change a life in ways you may never fully see. A key part of this mission is obedience. You will not always understand every instruction God gives you. Sometimes He will tell you to speak, other times to stay silent. Sometimes he will lead you to move forward when the timing seems strange, and sometimes he will have you wait when you feel ready to act. Trusting his timing is essential. Remember, he sees the full picture. He knows what needs to happen and when. Your role is to listen and obey. Do not underestimate the power of your assignment just because it feels small in the moment. A single conversation can redirect a destiny. A single prayer can open a door that has been closed for years. A single act of kindness can melt the ice around a wounded heart. This is why God calls you to be faithful in the little things, because in His kingdom, little things often become the foundation for great ones. Your assignment is not just about others, it is also about your own growth. God will stretch you, challenge you, and refine you through this calling. He will show you areas where you still need healing, strength, or wisdom, and as you grow, your ability to lead will grow with you. Every season of this journey has a purpose. Even the ones that feel like delays are actually preparing you for the weight of what is coming. Chosen one, your assignment is urgent. The world is in a time when many are searching for answers, but do not know where to find them. They are looking for truth in places that can only give them more emptiness. God has entrusted you with something real, something eternal, something that cannot be bought or imitated. You carry the very thing they are searching for. This is why the enemy has tried so hard to break you, because if you stand in your assignment, you become a threat to the darkness. When you step fully into your calling, you will notice a shift. Opportunities will open that you never planned for. The right people will cross your path. The wrong ones will fall away. Your words will have greater impact, not because you're trying harder, but because God's anointing will flow through you. You will see lives change, not by your power, but by His working through you. So take this seriously. Guard your assignment with prayer. Protect it from distractions and from people who would try to pull you off course. Keep your eyes fixed on the one who sent you. Remember that this is not about you. It is about the souls who will find their way because you chose to obey. And when it feels heavy, when the responsibility seems too great, remember this: God does not send without equipping. Everything you need to fulfill your assignment has already been placed in you. You are ready, even if you don't feel ready. You're strong enough, even if you have moments of weakness. The same God who called you will sustain you until the work is done. Chosen one, your assignment is not a suggestion. It is a mandate. It is your reason for being here in this moment, in this place, in this exact season. Do not delay. The time is now. Step into your role with boldness. Speak when you are given words. Act when you are given opportunities. Shine your light without apology. The world is waiting, and you have exactly what it needs. The weight and cost of leadership. Chosen one, before you move further into your calling, you must understand this truth. Leadership in God's kingdom is not just a position of honor, it is a position of sacrifice. Many dream of being called, of being chosen, but few truly grasp the cost. To lead is to carry weight that others do not see. It is to walk roads that others will never understand. And while the rewards of this path are eternal, the journey here on earth can often be lonely, misunderstood, and demanding. From the outside, people may see your strength, your confidence, your wisdom, and think you were born with an easy path. They don't see the battles you fought in private, the tears you cried where no one could hear, the prayers you prayed when it felt like God was silent. They don't understand that every ounce of authority you carry was bought with seasons of deep testing. Leadership requires refinement, and refinement always comes through fire. One of the heaviest parts of this weight is loneliness. True leaders are often set apart. not because they choose isolation, but because the road they walk is narrow. You will find that as you rise in your calling, the circle around you becomes smaller. Not everyone can understand the visions God has given you. Not everyone will agree with the way you choose to follow His instructions. There will be moments when you wish you could just blend in, go back to a simpler life. But the truth is, you've been marked. You can't return to the comfort of ignorance once you've seen the truth. The cost also comes in the form of responsibility. When God gives you influence over others, He also gives you the duty to care for them. This means you can't simply do whatever feels good in the moment. You must think about the example you set, the words you speak, and the way your actions impact those who look to you for guidance. You may not even be aware of how many are watching you, quietly learning from the way you live. Your consistency will matter more than your speeches. Your integrity will speak louder than your plans. There is also the weight of spiritual warfare. The moment you step into leadership, you become a target. The enemy does not waste time attacking those who pose no threat. He comes for the ones who carry influence, because if he can bring them down, he can scatter those they lead. This is why your life may seem harder than those around you. It's why temptations, attacks, and challenges seem to hit you in waves. It is not because you are weak. It is because you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Carrying this weight means making decisions that will not always be understood. You may be led by God to walk away from opportunities that others think you should take. You may be told to speak when everyone else is silent, or to stay quiet when everyone is shouting. You may have to stand for truth in environments where compromise is the norm. These moments test your loyalty, not to people, not to your own comfort, but to God's voice. Another cost of leadership is the personal sacrifice of your own desires. There will be times when you must put your plans aside for the sake of your mission. You may miss out on things that others enjoy, not because God is punishing you, but because your calling requires focus. The chosen cannot afford to be distracted by every passing trend or temptation. You are building something that will outlast you, and that demands discipline. There will also be seasons when you feel the weight of other people's pain. As a leader, you will be trusted with the burdens of those you guide. They will bring you their fears, their struggles, their heartbreaks. You will feel the heaviness of their situations, and sometimes you will wish you could take their pain away entirely. But part of your role is to point them to the one who can truly heal them. You are not the source. You are the vessel. Learning to carry people's burdens without letting them crush your spirit is a skill every chosen leader must develop. The cost includes being misunderstood. You may be accused of having wrong motives, judged for decisions people don't fully understand, or criticized simply because you chose a path that others fear to walk. This is one of the most painful parts of leadership, being misjudged by the very ones you're trying to help. It takes maturity to keep leading with love when you feel attacked, but remember, even Jesus was rejected by those he came to save. Rejection does not mean failure. Often, it is confirmation that you are disrupting the darkness. Another aspect of the cost is endurance. There will be times when you feel tired, weary, and tempted to quit. The road can feel endless, and the results of your work may not appear as quickly as you hoped. In those moments, you must draw on the strength God provides, trusting that He is working even when you can't see it. Leadership is not a sprint. It is a marathon. You cannot burn out chasing immediate results. You must pace yourself, anchored in the understanding that your role is obedience. The outcome belongs to God. There is also the emotional toll of letting go. As you grow, you must remember, The weight is not yours to carry alone. God never intended for you to bear it by your own strength. He calls you to cast your burdens on him, to seek his wisdom daily, and to walk in step with his Spirit. When you try to carry everything yourself, the pressure will crush you. But when you surrender it to him, you will find that his yoke is easy and his burden is light, not because the work is small, but because you are walking with the one who sustains you. So, chosen one, do not fear the weight. Do not run from the cost. Let it shape you. Let it refine you. Let it teach you to depend on God more than you depend on yourself. Every tear you shed, every moment you feel stretched beyond your limits, is producing in you a strength and wisdom that cannot be bought. The mantle you carry is not for the faint of heart, but it was made for you. God saw every trial you would face and still said, "You are the one." He knew your flaws, your fears, your weaknesses, and still, he chose you. That means he has already accounted for every obstacle, every setback, every attack. If he called you, he will equip you. And when you look back on your journey one day, you will realize that the weight you carried was not a curse. It was an honor. It was the sign that God trusted you with his people, his truth, and his mission. The cost will pale in comparison to the glory of seeing lives transformed, destinies restored, and the light you carried spreading into places you've never even stepped foot. This is the reality of leadership. This is the path of the chosen. It is not easy, but it is worth everything. And you, chosen one, are more than capable of carrying it, because you do not carry it alone. Tools of light. How to lead others out of darkness. Chosen one. The mission you carry is another vital tool is compassion. The people you are called to lead out of darkness are not just strangers, they are souls loved by God. Many of them have been wounded, betrayed, or abandoned. They may resist your light at first, not because they hate it, but because they fear being hurt again. Compassion gives you the patience to walk with them at their pace. It allows you to see beyond their defenses and into the brokenness that needs healing. When compassion flows through your leadership, people can feel that your intention is not to judge them, but to help them. Integrity is also a non-negotiable tool. You cannot lead others toward the light if you walk in shadows yourself. Integrity means that your actions match your words, even when no one is watching. It is living in such a way that you would not be ashamed if your private life were put on display. People may question your beliefs, they may resist your teachings, but if your life consistently reflects truth, your example will speak louder than any argument. Integrity builds trust, and trust is the bridge that allows your light to cross into someone else's life. Courage is another tool you must keep close. To lead others out of darkness means you will often have to walk into it first. You will face opposition, misunderstanding, and sometimes even hostility. Courage is what will keep you standing when fear tries to make you retreat. Courage does not mean you never feel afraid. It means you choose to move forward in spite of fear. Your courage will inspire others to face their own fears and take steps toward the light. In moments when others are ready to give up, your courage will remind them that victory is possible. The Word of God is your unshakable foundation. Scripture is not just ancient writing, it is living truth, sharper than any sword, able to cut through lies and reveal what is real. The Word is both a light to guide your steps and a weapon to protect those you lead. Without the Word, you will be swayed by emotions or trends. If this is stirring something deep in your spirit, if you feel these words pulling you into greater readiness, I want you to declare it. Comment 999 below as a sign of your agreement with this mission and your commitment to carry these tools wherever you go. This is not just about knowing them, it is about using them daily. The darkness is real, but so is your light. And with these tools in your hands, no shadow will be able to stand against you. Preparing spiritually for the journey ahead. Chosen one, the calling on your life is not a short-term assignment. This is not a task that can be completed in a week, nor is it a race that can be run on yesterday's strength. The journey ahead is lifelong, and it demands preparation. Not just in your mind, not just in your skills, but in your spirit. If you are to lead others out of the darkness and into the light, you must be spiritually fortified for the battles, trials, and responsibilities that will meet you along the way. The first step in preparing spiritually is building an unshakable connection with God. This is the foundation on which everything else stands. Without this connection, your light will flicker under pressure. Your relationship with God must be more than casual, it must be your lifeline. Set aside time every day to be in His presence. Read His word, listen for His voice, pour out your heart in prayer. Do not treat this as a chore. Treat it as the vital fuel that keeps you moving forward. The deeper your intimacy with God, the clearer your direction will be when the path ahead becomes foggy. Next, you must strengthen your faith. Faith is not just belief, it is trust in action. You will face moments where what you see will contradict what God has spoken to you. In those moments, faith will hold you steady. You cannot lead others into victory if you yourself crumble at the first sign of resistance. Strengthening your faith means reminding yourself daily of God's promises, recalling past victories, and declaring truth over your circumstances, even when your emotions tell you otherwise. Faith is built like muscle, through use and through resistance. The more you choose to trust God in difficulty, the stronger your faith becomes. You must also guard your mind. The mind is one of the enemy's favorite battlegrounds. Doubt, fear, discouragement, and confusion all begin there. If you allow your thoughts to be flooded with negativity, you will eventually act in ways that reflect that darkness. This is why Scripture tells us to take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind, through conversations, media, music, and even the company you keep. Feed your mind with truth, not with poison. When your thoughts are aligned with light, your actions will naturally follow. Alongside guarding your mind, you must also guard your heart. Your heart is the wellspring of your motives, your compassion, and your spiritual vitality. Bitterness, resentment, and offense are like toxins that can slowly dim your light if you let them stay. As a leader, you will face betrayal, misunderstanding, and ungratefulness. People you help may turn on you. If you allow these wounds to harden your heart, you will begin to lead from a place of pain instead of love. Guarding your heart does not mean shutting it off. It means keeping it pure by continually releasing hurt to God and refusing to let unforgiveness take root. Another vital aspect of spiritual preparation is fasting. Fasting is not about starving yourself. It is about sharpening your spiritual focus by removing distractions. It helps you realign your spirit with God's priorities and silence the noise of the flesh. Even short, intentional fasts can break through spiritual stagnation and give you clarity. When you fast, you weaken the hold of the natural and strengthen the authority of the spiritual. You must also commit to walking in obedience. The path ahead will not always make sense to your natural mind. God may tell you to step out when it feels too soon, or to wait when you feel ready to move. He may lead you into situations that seem impossible, only to reveal His power through them. Obedience is not about convenience, it is about trust. Each time you obey without hesitation, you grow more confident in God's voice and more resilient against distractions. Humility is another cornerstone of spiritual preparation. The journey ahead will bring victories, but with those victories will come the temptation to take credit for what God has done. Humility keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you are a vessel, not the source. It keeps your spirit teachable and your heart soft. A humble leader can be corrected, can learn from others, and can adapt without losing sight of the mission. You must also learn to rest in God. This journey will test your endurance, and without rest, you will burn out. Rest is not laziness. It is a strategic withdrawal into God's presence so that you can be renewed. Jesus Himself often withdrew to quiet places to pray and recharge. You must do the same. Resting in God allows you to keep pouring out without running dry. Surround yourself with the right people. Spiritual preparation is not done in isolation. While you may spend seasons alone, God will also place other warriors, encouragers, and wise counselors in your path. These are people who will pray for you, speak truth to you, and remind you of your mission when you feel weary. Be intentional in building these relationships and protect yourself from those who drain your spirit or pull you away from your purpose. Finally, prepare yourself for endurance. This journey is not a sprint, it is a marathon. There will be seasons of rapid progress and seasons of waiting. There will be moments when everything seems to align and moments when nothing makes sense. In every season, you must be anchored in the knowledge that you are here by divine assignment. Endurance is built by consistently showing up, even on the days when you don't feel like it, even when the results are not visible yet. Chosen one. Spiritual preparation is not an option. It is your foundation. Without it, the weight of your calling will crush you. With it, you will stand firm through storms and remain steady when others falter. Every discipline you establish now, prayer, faith, guarding your mind and heart, fasting, obedience, humility, rest, the right relationships and endurance, will serve as your armor in the battles ahead. Do not wait for the journey to begin before you prepare. You are already on it. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen your spirit, to sharpen your discernment, and to deepen your intimacy with God. The more prepared you are, the more effective you will be, not just in surviving the darkness, but in leading others boldly out of it. The time to get ready is now. What you put into your spirit today will determine the strength you have tomorrow. And tomorrow, the light you carry may be the only light someone sees. The prophetic moment. Why this message is timely. Chosen one, there are no accidents in the kingdom of God. You are not hearing this message by chance. This is a prophetic moment, an appointed time in your journey where what has been spoken over your life in private is now beginning to manifest in the open. Heaven has been aligning events, conversations, and circumstances to bring you to this exact point right now. And I must tell you, the urgency in the spirit is undeniable. We are living in a time when the lines between light and darkness are becoming clearer than ever before. The masks are coming off. Systems, ideas, and beliefs that once seemed solid are crumbling. The world is shifting at a pace that is leaving many disoriented and searching for something unshakable. This is the moment for which you have been prepared. You are not just here to survive these times. You are here to stand, to lead, and to illuminate the path forward for others. In seasons like this, God always raises up voices of clarity, truth, and hope. All throughout history, in times of great shaking, He has sent chosen ones, people who could see beyond the chaos, who could hear his voice in the noise, and who could point others back to him. This is your moment to step into that role. You may not feel ready. You may still be questioning your abilities, but readiness in God's kingdom is not about having everything figured out. It's about saying yes when he calls. The timing is prophetic because the hunger for truth is growing. People who once mocked faith are now asking questions. Hearts that seemed hard are beginning to soften. Pain and uncertainty have a way of stripping away illusions. And right now, many are realizing that what they've been building their lives on is not enough to hold them. They are looking for light, and you carry it. This is also a moment of separation. God is calling his people to come out from the places, habits, and mindsets that no longer align with his will. For some, this means leaving behind relationships that keep them in cycles of compromise. For others, it means laying down distractions that have kept them from hearing his voice. You, chosen one, are being set apart even more in this season, not to isolate you, but to position you. The places God is taking you require a clarity and purity that the last season could not sustain. Another reason this message is timely is because the enemy knows his influence is weakening. That's why the attacks against you have intensified recently. You may have noticed more distractions, more spiritual pressure, more sudden obstacles. These are not signs that you are failing. They are confirmation that you are getting closer to stepping fully into your assignment. The enemy always fights hardest when breakthrough is near. There is also a prophetic shift happening in how influence works. For so long, people have been drawn to leaders who were loudest, most visible, and most polished. But now there is a rising hunger for authenticity. The world has grown tired of empty words and performance. This is good news for you, because your power as a leader of light is not in appearance, it's in substance. When you speak, it carries weight because it comes from truth lived out, not just truth repeated. This moment is not only about personal calling, it's about collective awakening. God is activating many chosen ones at the same time, across nations, cultures, and backgrounds. You are part of a much larger movement, a network of light carriers whose paths may never cross physically, but whose impact will be felt globally. This is why it's so important that you step into your role now. Your obedience is part of a chain reaction. When you move, others will be inspired to move as well. The prophetic urgency also comes from the fact that windows of opportunity do not stay open forever. There are people assigned to your voice, your presence, and your leadership right now. If you delay, they may continue wandering in darkness longer than they should. Your yes today could be the very thing that shifts their tomorrow. In God's timing, obedience is not just about you. It's about all the lives your obedience will touch. Chosen one, the time for hesitation has passed. This is the moment to embrace the preparation you've gone through, to recognize that every tear, every battle, every setback has been training for this exact season. Do not despise the years that felt wasted. They were shaping you for endurance. Do not underestimate the trials that seemed pointless. They were equipping you with the empathy and strength you will need to lead others. You are standing in the fulfillment of words that were spoken over you long ago. Maybe you didn't understand them then. Maybe you even doubted them at times. But now, you can see the pieces coming together. This is the confirmation you've been waiting for. The sign that it's not too late, that you are not behind, and that God has been orchestrating your steps with perfect precision. So I say to you now, rise. Step into your assignment with boldness. Do not wait for every detail to make sense. The prophetic call rarely comes when we feel ready. It comes when heaven says, "The time is now." And heaven is saying that to you in this very moment. Remember, the darkness will not wait. Confusion will not pause. The world will not stop spinning. But neither will the light within you. You carry something that cannot be extinguished, and the world needs it now more than ever. Your voice, your example, your courage, they are all part of God's strategy for this generation. Chosen one, you were made for this moment. And this moment has been made for you. Step into it. Shine without hesitation, lead without apology, and watch as the prophetic words over your life unfold in ways more powerful than you ever imagined. Closing. Your march into the light. Chosen one, you have heard the call, you have seen the signs, and you now understand the urgency of your assignment. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the time to rise, to step forward with the authority God has given you, and to walk boldly into the light, not just for yourself, but for all those who will follow your lead. Your journey from this moment forward is not about perfection. It's about obedience. Every step you take in faith pushes back the darkness around you. Every truth you speak, every act of love you show, every moment you choose courage over fear is a declaration to the spiritual realm that the light has come, and it will not be put out. There will be challenges. There will be days when the weight feels heavy, but you will not walk alone. Heaven's army goes before you, the Spirit of God is within you, and the favor of the Lord surrounds you like a shield. You are equipped, you are anointed, and you are unstoppable when you move in His will. So go now and lead. Let your life be the proof that God still calls, still equips, and still works through those who dare to say yes. Share this message with others who need to awaken to their calling. Subscribe and stay connected, because your journey is just beginning, and together we will see the light overcome the darkness. This is your moment, chosen one. The march has begun. Step forward, shine brightly, and never look back.